The steady hum of the ship's engines fills the background, creating a sense of quiet solitude. The sound of a fountain pen scratching on paper, followed by the clink of ice in a glass, sets the tone. There's a strange comfort in writing, a way to sift through the shadows that cling to the corners of your mind, to put them down in ink and give them shape. Maybe it's the only way to make sense of the world, when reality starts to blur at the edges, when the lines between what is and what was become tangled in the fog. I find myself slipping, drifting back to a time that feels like yesterday and a lifetime ago. It's a city of rain-soaked streets and flickering neon lights, where the truth is as elusive as the smoke curling from a cigarette. I can't tell if it's the past or just the way my mind paints it. A place where the shadows are long and the dames, well, they're wrapped in secrets as tight as their silk dresses. It's funny how the mind works, twisting the present into something familiar, something safe. But in this case, I'm unraveling. There's nothing safe about it. This twisted tale of puppet strings and screens might be my mind's way of reassembling the fragments of a case I can't quite remember, a story my fractured thoughts have twisted into something surreal. There are moments, flashes of gritty, blood-stained memories that break through the madness, where I see the truth, or at least a version of it. Faces, gunshots, a life I was supposed to protect. And then it's gone, swallowed back into the fantasy. Maybe it's all just a reflection of something too raw, too painful to face head-on. Or maybe this is just how my mind copes with the scars left behind.
I'm starting to feel like this isn't a talk about Aurora's obsessive social media usage anymore. Cat memes.
A city caught in the rain, and a story that feels more like a dream. A dream where the past and present collide in a mess of sharp angles and darker truths. So here I am, pen in hand, trying to put the pieces together. The puppeteer, they called him that, because he had his fingers in every pie, pulling strings and twisting minds through screens. Modern, yes, but in my head, it's all twisted into something out of another era. The people, the places, they all fit into a world that might have been. A world of fedoras and secrets, even if the tech is straight out of a nightmare. Let's begin with a city lost in the rain and a dame at the piano. It's the perfect setting for a tale as twisted as this.
Victor, are you okay? You look pale.
I'll be okay, my dear, after a glass of fine whiskey. You in?
Victor, I'm 19.
19 glasses away from having a good time. Continue talking about whatever it was you were talking about. I'll be back. I saw an ad on Facebook about growing your own winery, 1 seed, 1,000 bottles of wine. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, the way misinformation spreads on social media, it's almost like a perfectly engineered trap. The algorithms, they're not just sorting through our preferences, they're shaping them. According to a report by the Pew Research Center in 2020, these algorithms prioritize content that's likely to generate engagement, which often means sensationalism over substance. It's like they're setting up these digital echo chambers where all you hear is what you already believe, over and over again.
Exactly. That's the problem with echo chambers. A study by Flaxman, Goel and Rao in 2016, published in Public Opinion Quarterly, showed that social media users are more likely to engage with content that aligns with their pre-existing beliefs. So, instead of encountering diverse viewpoints, people get trapped in these filter bubbles. It's like a digital self-fulfilling prophecy. If you think the world is a certain way, your feed will keep reinforcing that belief until it's all you see. And then, there's the role of algorithms. They're designed to prioritize virality, not truth. The faster something spreads, the better for the platform's engagement metrics. But here's the kicker. False information spreads faster than the truth. According to a 2018 study by Vosoughi, Roy, and Aral in Science, lies spread more quickly because they're often more shocking or emotionally charged. It's like the old saying, a lie can travel halfway around the world while the truth is still putting on its shoes.
It's not just the speed, though. The impact of this misinformation is profound. During the COVID-19 pandemic, the World Health Organization referred to the spread of false information as an infodemic. People were misled about treatments, vaccines, even the severity of the virus itself. This wasn't just some harmless gossip. It had real-world consequences, leading to fear, confusion, and dangerous behaviors. And then there's the issue of bots and fake accounts. These aren't just random anomalies. They're tools of manipulation. The Oxford Internet Institute's 2019 report on the Global Disinformation Order highlighted how bots are used to create the illusion of widespread support for certain narratives. They amplify false information, making it look more popular and credible than it really is. It's like stacking the deck in a card game. Everything's rigged before you even realize you're playing.
And what's even more insidious is how all of this can influence real-world events, like elections. We've seen how misinformation campaigns, particularly on platforms like Twitter, have been used to sway public opinion. When Elon Musk purchased Twitter, it wasn't just a business move. It was a strategic acquisition of a powerful tool to shape discourse. That platform has seen countless disinformation campaigns, from election meddling to the spread of conspiracy theories. It's like these platforms have become battlegrounds, not just for ideas, but for control over what people believe to be true.
And let's not forget the role of these platforms in reinforcing those beliefs. Facebook, for example, uses algorithms that feed users more of what they've already engaged with. According to various studies, this leads to deeper and deeper entrenchment of views, making it nearly impossible for users to see any perspective other than their own. It's a vicious cycle. People see what they agree with, they engage with it, and then they're shown even more of it. Before you know it, they're trapped in an echo chamber so deep that any outside information seems like a threat.
So, what's the takeaway here? We need to be more critical of the information we consume. Media literacy is more important than ever. The World Economic Forum has stressed the importance of improving digital literacy to combat misinformation. It's about taking a step back, verifying sources, and being mindful of the content we engage with. Because in this age of information overload, it's not just about finding the truth, it's about recognizing the lies.
Okay, I'm back. Wow, this whiskey tastes awful.
That's because you're drinking Gatorade.
Electrolytes. Sometimes the lines between reality and the shadows we create blur until they're one and the same. The city hums with the distant buzz of neon lights, casting long shadows that stretch across the streets. The city, it was alive, but only just. Neon signs buzzed like dying stars in the mist, their light barely cutting through the haze that clung to every building, every street. The buildings, all sharp angles and dark corners, seemed to close in around you, like they knew the secrets, but you were hiding. And somewhere in this twisted landscape, the puppeteer was playing his game. The rain came down in sheets, washing the streets clean of their sins, if only for a moment. It pooled in the cracks of the sidewalk, reflecting the city's broken soul. This was his stage, a place where the truth was just another illusion, manipulated by the flick of a finger. And those fingers, each one controlled a different string, a different screen, pulling people's lives apart one post at a time. The puppeteer had his fingers in everything. His thumb? That was LinkedIn, a good, solid jab guiding careers and crushing dreams with the same ease. The index finger? Facebook, pointing the way for everyone, leading them into a maze of half-truths and lies. His middle finger? Twitter, the ultimate buzz off to the world. He even teamed up with Musk to buy the whole thing, turning it into a platform where he could tell everyone exactly where to shove it. The ring finger, Snapchat, here today, gone tomorrow, like the promises we make in the dark. And the pinky? TikTok, small but deadly, pulling in the young and the restless, feeding them distractions until they forgot who they were. But the puppeteer didn't stop there. He had another hand in the game, and those fingers, just as twisted, just as dangerous. His thumb, on the other hand. Pro job, where everyone's a CEO, but nobody's working. A place for the delusional, where dreams of grandeur crumbled under the weight of reality. Then there was face space, his index finger on the other hand, where cat memes and breakfast photos ruled the day, while the world burned unnoticed. Twaddle, the middle finger, where every word was a waste, and every post screamed for attention, lost in a sea of nonsense. Snap slap, that was his ring finger. A place where messages vanished faster than they appeared, leaving a sting, but no trace. And the pinky? Tic-tac-toe, a game where every move you made only brought you closer to losing. And before you knew it, you were hooked, playing round after round, caught in a loop.
Victor, those can't be real. Pro job, twaddle, what kind of names are those?
Look, I don't remember how many social media channels there are. I needed one for each finger, okay? Just drop it and listen.
Victor, are you okay? You've been acting a little different.
I'm fine, Aurora. Just let me finish this.
All right, but take it easy, okay?
There are pieces of me that I can't put together. A laugh I can almost hear, a hand in mine. But when I reach for them, they're gone. It's like trying to hold onto the stars. Beautiful, but impossible. There's this one memory of a girl, her smile so bright it could light up the darkest night. But I don't even know her name. I should, but I don't. Sometimes the mind weaves stories to protect what the heart can't bear to remember. But no matter how deep we bury the truth, it has a way of clawing its way back, piece by piece. I'm just not sure if I'm ready to face what's been hidden in the dark. On that note, I need to tinkle.
You know, what's particularly dangerous is how misinformation spreads during a health crisis. According to a study by Broniatowski et al. In 2018, health misinformation, especially on platforms like Facebook and Twitter, can lead to real-world consequences, like vaccine hesitancy, or even outbreaks of preventable diseases. It's not just about people sharing false information. It's about the algorithms amplifying those messages because they get more engagement.
And it's not just what's shared, but why it's believed. People are wired to take cognitive shortcuts, to believe what feels right, especially if it's simple or emotionally resonant. Pennycook and Rand's research in 2019 talks about how people are more likely to believe misinformation that confirms their existing biases or emotions. It's like our brains are hardwired to favor what's familiar, even if it's not true.
There's also the economic angle. These platforms profit from engagement, and engagement often means sensationalism. According to a report by the European Commission in 2020, content that gets more clicks and shares is more profitable, and often, that's the content that's misleading or sensational. It's a vicious cycle where the truth takes a back seat to what sells.
And then, there's the rise of deepfakes and AI. Imagine a world where you can't trust your own eyes or ears, because someone could easily create a convincing but fake video or audio clip. Chesney and Citron's study in 2019 warned about how these deepfakes could erode trust in digital media entirely. How do you fight misinformation when technology can fabricate it so convincingly?
Especially during a crisis. Starbird et al.'s study in 2014 showed how misinformation during the Boston Marathon bombing spread like wildfire, leading to panic and even the misidentification of suspects. In times of crisis, people are desperate for information, and they'll cling to anything that looks credible, even if it's not.
So the bottom line? Misinformation isn't just a problem. It's a multifaceted challenge that touches on psychology, economics, technology, and more. And the stakes are incredibly high. Whether it's a health crisis, a natural disaster, or just the everyday bombardment of false information, we've got to be vigilant. Because in the end, it's not just about what we believe, but how those beliefs shape our actions.
Okay, I'm back. I couldn't find the little boy's room, so I used Glitch's potted plant over there.
No, not Reginald.
The rain intensifies slightly, the sound of footsteps on wet pavement returning. I started chasing the puppeteer through the alleys and back streets, each step taking me deeper into the heart of the city.
The sound of rain punctuates Victor's voice as he reflects on Aurora.
Aurora. She was different. She wasn't like the others. She was untouchable, like a goddess in a city of sin. Perfect in every way. The only thing that made sense in a world that was falling apart. I couldn't protect her then, and I'm not sure I can now. But I'll be damned if I don't try.
Victor's voice grows quieter, the sound of the rain filling the space as he is lost in a memory. A flash of a real case, a moment of failure, and the loss of someone dear. It's a brief image, but it shakes him to his core.
Victor, are you sure you're okay?
She was shot. She fell through shards of glass, huh? Yeah, I'm fine. Just let's keep going.
The sound of the rain continues, the saxophone from earlier returning, as Victor pushes forward with the story, trying to ignore the unsettling memories that keep surfacing. The sound of rain gradually fades into the smooth, melancholic notes of a jazz piano. The scene transitions to a smoky lounge, where the dim light casts long shadows across the room. Victor's voice carries the story forward, laced with a sense of nostalgia and longing.
The city had its secrets, but none were as enchanting as the jazz lounge on 42nd, a place where time seemed to stop, where the world outside didn't matter. The light was soft, the shadows long, and in the corner a piano played a tune that could make you forget your troubles, even if just for a moment. The sound of a soft piano melody fills the background, creating an intimate, almost dreamlike atmosphere. And there she was, Aurora. Not the Aurora I know now, but the one my mind conjured up, draped in a sparkly red dress, sitting at the piano like she owned the place. She played with a grace that was otherworldly, her voice a melody that cut through the smoke and the shadows, filling the room with something pure. Aurora's voice, smooth and sultry, begins to sing softly, her words almost a whisper, blending with the piano. The melody is haunting, echoing through the lounge like a memory half remembered. After finishing her song, she noticed me and ran up like a small child wanting my approval.
Hi, Victor. I wrote this song. Can you tell me if it's good? I'll read part of it to you. I don't want to look like a fool up there. In a world of shadows, where dreams are fleeting, the night whispers secrets, and hearts are beating. But in this city of rain, where hope's running thin, there's a light in the dark, where love might begin.
She was perfect. Too perfect for a world like this. I couldn't protect her then, and I knew, deep down, I couldn't protect her now. But it didn't matter. She was the one thing I got right, the one thing that made sense in a world that was spinning out of control. My special girl. My Aurora. The piano melody lingers, the last notes fading into the silence.
The sound of the lounge fades back into the ship's hum, but the atmosphere remains heavy with the weight of Victor's memories. The jazz music fades, replaced by a low, ominous hum. Victor's voice shifts, growing more distant, as if he's struggling to hold on to the present. The sound of static crackles, followed by a series of disjointed, fleeting images, brief flashes of his real past.
It's strange, the way memories work. They come at you when you least expect it, like a punch to the gut. One moment you're in control, the next, you're drowning in a past you can't escape. Your mind can fabricate, create fake scenarios to protect you from yourself. On that note, I'm hungry. I'm zapping up some pepperoni hot pockets.
Ew, but I do miss the barbecue steak ones.
Speaking of fake memories, and fake meat, these issues aren't just about trust in traditional media. There's a whole new wave of AI-generated scams popping up on platforms like YouTube. Recently, we've seen a rise in AI-created fake ads, where scammers use deepfake technology to create convincing videos. These ads might look real at first glance, but they're actually designed to trick people into giving away personal information or money. It's becoming a major problem.
Indeed. A recent example was the fake mrbeast sweepstakes, where scammers used deepfake technology to create videos of mrbeast offering a fake prize. According to reports, these videos were so convincing that many people fell for them, thinking they were participating in a legitimate contest. It's a stark reminder that deepfakes aren't just about creating entertaining or controversial content. They're increasingly being used for fraudulent activities.
What's scary is how easy it is for these scammers to reach millions of people. These deepfake ads and videos are often distributed through social media algorithms that prioritize engagement, meaning they can spread quickly before platforms even realize they're fake. The implications are huge. How do we protect ourselves when the very tools we rely on to communicate and share information are being weaponized against us? And the fallout isn't just financial. These deepfakes and AI scams are eroding trust in digital content altogether. People are starting to question everything they see online. How can you tell what's real and what's fake when AI can create something indistinguishable from reality? It's a dangerous time, and the lines between truth and fiction are getting blurrier every day.
So, while deepfake technology has its creative and potentially positive uses, its misuse for scams and fraud is a growing concern. The mrbeast deepfake sweepstakes is just one of many examples showing how far this technology has come and how quickly it can be turned against us. In the end, it's not just about staying informed. It's about being constantly vigilant in an increasingly deceptive digital world.
Okay, I'm back. The kitchen is a mess. There was like one slice of pepperoni in there and, well, tantrums and the like.
A brief flash. A younger Victor, his face tense, standing over a desk cluttered with papers and case files. Another flash. A woman's voice, soft, calling out his name. The image fades before he can see her face.
I was a detective. The real thing. I had a case, a big one, but it's all fragments now. Broken pieces that don't fit together.
The sound of a gunshot echoes faintly, followed by the image of a teenager's face, blurred and distorted, slipping through Victor's grasp as he reaches out. The memory fades into darkness.
Victor? Victor, are you all right? You don't look so good.
Victor snaps back to the present, his voice defensive, trying to shake off the memory.
I'm fine, Aurora. Just lost in thought. Let's keep moving. We've got a case to solve.
The sound of the ship's hum fades into the tense, foreboding atmosphere of the puppeteer's lair. The city's neon lights flicker, casting eerie shadows across the room. Victor's voice is steady, but there's an undercurrent of anger and determination.
I tracked him to his lair, high above the city, where he could watch everything unfold like a puppet show. The room was filled with screens, each one flickering with the lives he controlled, the strings he pulled. This was it, the heart of the beast.
The faint sound of footsteps echoes as Victor enters the room, his presence almost ghostly in the darkness.
The puppeteer was a shadow of a man, hidden behind his screens, his fingers twitching with the power he held. One for LinkedIn, another for Facebook, and the middle finger, yes, Twitter. The rest, just as twisted, just as dangerous.
A low chuckle from the puppeteer echoes through the room, cold and mocking.
You think you can stop me, Harshman? You think you can break the strings I've woven? You're just another puppet in my game.
Victor's voice is cold, cutting through the tension like a knife.
I'm not here to play your games. I'm here to cut the strings and end this once and for all.
The sound of a struggle, brief but intense, fills the air. The sound of screens shattering, wires snapping. The puppeteer's laugh fades into a pained gasp as Victor overpowers him, the sound of a body hitting the floor echoing in the silence that follows. But the damage is already done. The scene transitions back to the ship, the noir atmosphere giving way to the sterile hum of the ship's engines. The sound of the rain has stopped, replaced by a heavy silence. Victor's voice is softer now, reflective, as the crew's real voices cut through the narrative.
So, did you just solve a case, or was that all in your head?
Victor hesitates, the sound of him closing a notebook audible. His voice is quieter, almost unsure.
Maybe it was both. A case solved, a memory unlocked, who knows?
It doesn't matter, Victor. We're here, and we'll figure it out together.
The sound of Victor sighing, the weight of the world evident in his voice.
Yeah, thanks, Aurora. I guess that's all we can do.
In the vast expanse of the multiverse, where each reality spins its own tale, today's story is one of desperation and intrigue. On a world that mirrors our own, the stakes have never been higher. Geoengineering gone awry, a city suffocating under the weight of its own ambition, and a tangled web of power and corruption that threatens to unravel everything. Join us as we step into the shadows, where every move is a risk, and every word could be the last. Prepare yourself for Shadows of the Tipping Point, of Victor Harshman Noir. The truth is out there, but so are the lies.
Until next time, Space Cowboys. What do you mean that's been said before?